Hey there, comic fans. This is Comicfan with, actually, I've got a haul. I know in the description it says Grail update. Well, yeah, we'll go ahead and update you on my Grail. Basically, I got quite a stack of a haul here. About that much right there. So, basically, this is a couple of local buys at a show I went to, a lot of quarter buys. I hit up a quarter sale, so that was great. Most of these books you'll see I got for a quarter, and then at the end we'll go to my Grail update. And of course, those who are catching me later after this, just skip to the end if you don't want to see all the stuff and go to my update, but that's okay. If you want to stick around, that's also fine. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start off with a show I went to over the last Sunday. Let's see, we got... What should I start off with? I only got 3 books at that show, but they're books I've been wanting for quite a while. Before I went to the show, my buddy Scott from Rocket Comics just gave me a little something I've been looking for a while, and I was never able to actually catch it. So it's America's Best Comics. It's a one-shot. Pretty much just recapped all the classic Saturday morning cartoons that I grew up with. Who do we have in the chat already? Jeez, my gosh. Four-Way Flashers, Big E's Comics, and Huey's Comics. Glad to have you guys. I've got about 5 people in the chat. So these other 2 people that are kind of lurking, let me know what's going on. Say hi. I'd love to give you a shout out or something. Just mention you guys. Along with that, we've got World of Wood. Now, this is something some people have heard about, some people haven't. It's nothing big on the speculation. It's just that I'm a fan of Wally Wood art, and this is something that I've been looking for. There's about 5 books in the series, and it's just really good Dave Stevens and Wally Wood collaboration. So that's a really cool thing. I'd love to have all 5 issues, but so far I've only been able to collect 1. Now, Tom Ryan just picked up number 1, and I don't know if he has any more, but I'd love to see if he does. Aside from that, my buddy, who I set up a show with, and I help him out with, he found me a great 50-cent book. First issue special, Lady Cop. It's a one-shot deal. This lady doesn't even show up until later on in, I believe, the 2000s. So this is a very one-and-done appearance until much later on. The funny thing is, the thing I love about these books done in the day is that there's a lot of unfortunate, sometimes racial stereotypes, stuff against women that goes totally unnoticed. Things that happened then, that if it happened now, there would be a huge uproar. Case in point, in this story, Lady Cop is actually trying to chase down a girl that has VD. Now, back then, VD was a really big deal. It definitely raised my eyebrows now. 1975, VD, venereal disease, it's not unheard of, but it's stuff that if you were to bring it up in 1975, you'd have a lot of people hushing you up. Let's see. Now, biggies, you're waiting for me to show a big book. How do you know if I even have a big book? It's a Grail update. I'm just letting you know what's going on. Long explanation. I'll get to it in a bit. So anyway, the girl with VD, Lady Cop, tells her to go tell her dad. Her dad's like, well, she tells her dad, no, I can't tell my dad. My dad will disown me. But anyway, they finally get to the point where the girl confronts her dad, and lo and behold, the guy winds back and smacks Lady Cop. Oops, excuse me, hold on a second. Smacks Lady Cop clear across the face. Oh, darn it, come on. There we go. Gives her a big old right cross. And after that, they just start talking it out. Lady Cop doesn't even arrest him. No, nothing. Yeah, I just don't totally get it. But it's unfortunately it's great because of that. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's stuff like that that really changes history. Oh, no rush, Joe. You like the regular stuff? Good, because I got plenty of regular stuff. Yeah, she got knocked out. So the one good book, really good book I got from last Sunday's show was G.I. Joe #1. Really cool stuff. These books present really well. I know I got one for GDJ Rod a couple of months ago. I got it for $40, and these present really well because #1 was presented on or printed on Baxter paper. Baxter paper seems to just it really preserves itself well. And the pages are pretty thick. They remain white a lot longer than your regular newsprint paper. So that's really good. And it's harder to crease also. I think the cover on this is a little thicker than your normal, not too thick, but they uphold really well. I got this one for $20. Not too bad. Such a steal. I would say it's probably about very fine. So not too bad. Let's see. Okay, so now on to oh yeah, the writer of G.I. Joe, is that Larry Hama? That'd be cool to have that. Huey, you're gonna go after G.I. Joe? G.I. Joe's a fun run to go after. I thought about going after it myself. It brings back a lot of good memories of me and my TV viewing back then. Oh jeez, hold on, got a little hot in here. Whoo, yeah, Larry Hama, writer of G.I. Joe, good stuff. All right, so on to this quarter sale. Now, let me set up the little scenario. I got there really late. This was a quarter sale that was kind of a Black Friday deal, although I didn't get to this sale until Saturday afternoon, late Saturday afternoon. I'm talking like 5 o'clock. And the things that came out of there was still good stuff. I'm sure that all the premium stuff was gone. But, what I got, I'm pretty surprised to get for a quarter. So let me show you. A lot of it is actually independent stuff. Start off with Omaha #2. This was a lot of independent stuff that I was reading when I was first started collecting. I didn't necessarily read a lot of this, independent stuff because independent stuff back then was a lot of nudity and sometimes vulgarity and stuff you just couldn't get away with in the big two publishers. Now, most of this was done before Image erupted, so indie was actually really indie back then. I can't show these books, unfortunately, because inside here is a lot of drawn nudity and stuff like that. But it piqued my interest because I believe when I was watching Sleepy Reader's one of his recent videos, he brought up Omaha, and now that I saw it, I said, "Oh, that'd be great to check out." For a quarter, not bad. For another quarter, I got Death Dealer. It's a collaboration between Glenn Danzig, Frank Frazetta, and Simon Bisley. That's an excellent team up right there, man. It's an all-star lineup. When you have three great people that are influential in their fields, how could you go wrong for a quarter? It's really hard. It's like a prestige format, and it's surprisingly good. I'm going to try to find you, again, a lot of this stuff has nudity on it, so I'm going to try to find you something that's presents well and has no nothing that's going to get me in trouble. So far, nothing. Okay, so here we got, it's a lot of gore, a lot of blood, but there you have it. So not bad. Again, for a quarter, I'm not going to complain. Took a chance on an Eternal Warrior #1 for a quarter. Not gonna let that go. Found 2 early Saga issues, Saga #6 and Saga #6, 2 copies. Again, back to the independent stuff. The Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers. I believe that's, what issue #3 is it? I believe so. I believe this is issue #3, not first printing. I think it's third printing. But again, for a quarter, not bad. LA Comics #2 for another quarter. Not bad. The LA Comics #1, I believe, is the first appearance of Mickey Rat. And this kind of started off some of the whole independent underground comics thing. But it was really interesting to have. Yeah, Freak Brothers is pretty cool. It's just some risque stuff that would make me blush even up till now. You know, I'd read it and I'd either laugh like a little schoolgirl, or I'd be ashamed to read the rest of it. So, this was cool for a quarter. Clerks, the comic book, #1. Unfortunately, it's the third print. You really think that this would be first print in the quarter bin at that time I hit it up? Probably not. But still, to have the story, really cool. Yeah, we're all freaks biggies, but I keep that off camera, man. That's my personal stuff. I keep it home. Big Dog Funnies by Rip Off Press. This is #1, first print. Pretty good. On to a little bit modern stuff after this. Got some Love and Rockets inspired kind of things. We got Fritz and Petra #1 and Luba #1. It's a pretty good pairing. To have one and not the other is pretty good. I would also suggest that this is for mature readers. Not good on camera. Can't show it to you. Sorry, guys. But on the modern side here, I got a good, really great Andy Kubert cover. X-Men #24. Not bad. Really great condition. It's almost like mint condition for a quarter. Couldn't pass it up. And then also out of those boxes, I've got the Catwoman miniseries. All 4 issues. Not bad. Now, this is also suggested for mature readers, but DC's version of mature readers is them saying like filth, flarn, filth, and showing something in the shadows. Nothing to get excited about, okay? It's not exactly porn. And then inside that shop, inside their regular inventory, they had $2, $5 books, stuff like that. So for $5, although I took the label off, it's in VG Plus condition. For $5, I found War is Hell, first appearance of Death. For $5, and I would have to say that it's probably in a very good fine condition. Press it out, probably go higher, but for $5, great stuff, man. Great. I've been looking for this book for quite a while. So that is done with all that. Yeah, it's a great cover. With that all done, shoot, that's all the stack I have for that. So we'll go to, one more thing. Sorry, guys. One of the True Believers stuff, I wasn't going to normally check out the True Believers things, but there was one thing I always wanted to read, never had it, and GDG Rod had a copy of it. I said, yeah, can you bring it over? Can you send it over? Because I'd really like to read it. Never been able to check it out. And he said, yeah, sure, no problem. True Believers, X-Men #1. Nothing really great, but since I got a random act of kindness, it certainly doesn't hurt to show it off. But here's the one thing. I've always wanted to show people that who have not actually seen the inside of the book. The first page alone is enough to turn you off and say, forget it. I never want to see that book again. What the hell were they thinking? Now, I don't know whose idea was it, whether it was Stan Lee or Stan Kirby, but whose idea, on the first page when you open it up, whose idea is it to put Iceman on a stripper pole. I don't know if anybody ever picked that up, but there it is in all its glory. Iceman on a stripper pole. Is that how you want to be remembered? Your first appearance and you're on a frickin' stripper pole. I want to know. I would love to be a fly on the wall to hear what would happen when they were actually trying to pitch the idea. So yeah, we'll have a beast flying through a window, and we'll have angel flying, and we'll have Professor Xavier in all his glory in his wheelchair, and then we'll have Iceman on a stripper pole. That's where I stop right there. That's like, no, this isn't going to fly. To me, if I was one of the big people on the board at Marvel, I'd shut it down. Say, that's a terrible idea. Why would you have some guy made of snow on a stripper pole? But I guess you got to push a little bit farther towards past the first page to really figure it out. So, thank you, GDJ Rob. That's right. There was no one to shut it down back in those days. You're right, Fourway. So, yeah, it really does explain a lot. On to my Grail book update. So let me tell you, surfing the web a while back. It was actually the same day, I would say a week before this whole quarter sale I went to. I see this book. It looks good. A little too good to be true. Yeah, it's got a heavy price tag and things like that. And but I couldn't resist. I sent the guy a message knowing there's no way. I'm not prepared to buy a big book. I mean, it was only like a month ago before I said I was going to take a break. And I meant it. I really did. So I hit this guy up. The guy says it's for sale. I said, are you kidding me? How is this still for sale? I know plenty of people who would be all over this. But here's the thing. Since it was the Thanksgiving weekend, I'm imagining everybody's out of town. Everybody who's sniping the big books around me. I'm from LA. There's a lot of people in LA. And a lot of people that use the same means of media that I do to track down and hunt down books. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Biggie's going back on the X-Men book. Iceman should have been called Snowman. You're right. Getting back to the story. So we go and start communicating for a couple of days, and he leaves me hanging in between responses. He leaves like 24 hours in between responses. This guy is making me sweat it out. And every day that goes by, I say, oh, somebody obviously is talking to him. Somebody else is talking to him. They're going to buy the book. Horrible. It's a horrible feeling. But I'm sweating it out for 3 days straight. And I'm talking to my buddy Scott. My buddy Scott from Rocket Comics is kind of giving me the advice. Is of what to look for. Because, in case you guys didn't know, I deal with mostly raw books. I don't do a whole lot of the slabbing stuff. But my buddy Scott does it all the time. So he's telling me what to look for. I sent him what I know. He says it all checks out so far, and we should pursue it. So I did. And finally he says, hey, do you want to meet up? I'm like, whoa. Things are going a little too fast here. But I know at the price that it is, I'm not sure if I can let this go. So what do? I pull up my resources. I grovel to the wife. I said, honey, hear me out. I said, I got this book. And she says, here we go again. Because I've always got this book. She's heard this story so many times. And we start talking about it.
No, you started groveling.
My wife says I was still groveling. She was right here. She's saying I'm still groveling. So, and I am. This is a big book that I'm not sure if I can make this money back. Let me break it down a little bit. I had.
told me.
Wait. Let's hear my wife's side of the story. What's going on?
That's not what you told me. You said, I have a plan and I will pay you back. It'll be a little longer, but about a year.
No.
That's what you said.
Damn.
That's what you said.
It's so funny because Four-Way and my wife called me out at the same time. It's exactly what I said. I'm good for it. I can pay it back. Let me tell you what I had to pay back, all right? I had about $1,000 cash, okay? Not enough to really pay for a big book, right? No, I'm totally okay with this, with my wife calling out, because she knows the story. I know the story. I'm not embarrassed. This is exactly what happened. What's up, Kyle Walker? Good to have you with us. So I had $1,000. This guy, I'm just going to put it out there. This guy listed this book for $2,222. Now, do you think I'm going to be able to just walk up to the wife and say, "Hey, honey, give me $1,200. I'll pay you back"?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. It turned out that I had spent money in between the time I was actually planning to buy the book and the time I was actually going to meet this guy. So I was a little shorter than usual. I needed to borrow from my bank account about $1,400. $1,400. That's enough to get me nervous all in itself. Okay, so I need to borrow $1,400. This guy wants $2,222, and my wife is crazy enough to say go for it. That's such a crazy feeling. So I continue talking to the guy. The guy says, "Hey, let's go meet up. Let's go meet up on a Saturday." I'm like, okay, let's do it. Because the price for that book, like I said, it's too good to pass up. Or at least I think so. Because what I had budgeted for a book maybe in the 1.5 range. And with 1.5 range, that's really low grade. And it's enough to just say, yeah, I've got that book in my collection. But the grade on this book is graded. The book's graded at 4.0. Way far beyond than a 1.5 that I budgeted for. So you see where I'm going with this, right? I may be able to afford what I budgeted for a 1.5, and I can now afford a 4.0. Unbelievable. That's a huge jump, no matter what book. So I met up with the guy. I pulled the most cash I've ever pulled out of my bank account and stuffed it in a wallet, and I'm just shaking. I'm just shaking with anxiety and fear, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is a huge risk for me. I meet up with the guy. At the same time, I say, "Hey, what else you got?" I got a buddy. I brought my buddy Scott with me from Rocket Comics, and I said, "What else you got?" I got a buddy who's bringing some money. Let's sell some books. So, without any further ado, let's have a drum roll. I actually paid for the book. I got it. Drum roll, please. There it is. An X-Men #1. That's crazy. So I got an X-Men #1, and boom, yeah, there it is. Let me tell you what was the really good deal for this. Yeah, I know. Hey, that's quite a compliment, guys. Thank you. For Kyle Walker to say awesome book, because I know he's got a huge X-Men collection. That means a lot. This book has got a couple of cracks in the cases. Okay, yeah, Iceman on the stripper pole, but this time it's the authentic Iceman/Snowman on the /stripper pole, right? All right, so hey, we got another viewer in here, Matt. Welcome to the show. Let me tell you, the deciding factor about this, and the crazy thing about this guy tells me the story that he got this book a couple years ago, and the person who mailed it to him mailed it in just a plain manila envelope, no cushion, no nothing, no packing, nothing. So the case got cracked. And, oh, thank you, Matt. Thank you. I'm so glad that people like you go and take the time to comment, because normally, I hear the same people commenting, and it's always great to hear a new person comment. So don't be afraid to comment, guys. Those people who just watch the videos, comment. But what are we going to do? We're going to respond to you. That goes with anybody who puts on a video. We love to hear you guys comment. Okay, so it's got a lot of cracks. He said it had hairline cracks. It doesn't have hairline cracks. This thing is cracked. I'll see if I can show you the cracks on it. There's a crack right there, and a big crack right there. A huge crack in the back. Although I'm sorry guys, cracks don't really show up on the camera too easy. But you'll see there's a huge crack right here from right there. Now, the good story about this, and I'm just going to show you the book while I'm telling you the story. Get out of my way. All these quarter books seem like so petty now. I'm not trying to get a big head about it. But, so anyway, the good thing about this is that the fact that the case is cracked and it hasn't been pressed or cleaned. This is a 4.0 that has not been pressed or cleaned. This is huge for me. Huge, huge, huge. And no, this is not the case that has the rainbow jizz on it. This is the one before the rainbow jizz. Yeah, you'll see a lot of the little corner creases right there. The majority of the defects on this are the minor chips on the outer edge right here. There's one right there. There we go, right there. That's where right there, right underneath right next to the green banner. That's where the most of the chipping is, and at the corner right here. Now, of course, these things don't have sharp corners. The corners are blunted like crazy. But here's the good thing about a 4.0. 4.0s don't have the major defects. Right, that's what I'm getting at, biggies. It has a potential grade bump. Not a huge grade bump, but this could possibly, with just the cleaning alone, could go at least a half a grade. So how can you possibly let this go? I mean, I'm getting, if I'm looking at the values correctly, this is potentially, as it is, if it was to sit as a 4.0, I'm looking at potentially about a $3,500 bill, right? I'm thinking, yeah, right, a 0.5 adds a lot of value. Now, of course, I've got some options here. Right now, I'm completely tapped out of cash. There's no way I can get it pressed and cleaned. I can't get it re-slabbed. I'm completely tapped out. So what here's the plan. I had a plan at the beginning, and it's taking a lot of sacrifice. I'm telling you, I have sold off all my modern Grails. I'm actually getting another book cleaned, pressed, graded to make up for the money I took out of my account for this book. And it's not a small book either. But you'll listen to my reasoning after this, and I've talked to many people, and they say this is the way to go. Right now, I took out a book I spent $250 on a couple years ago. I bought a Batman 121 a couple years ago for $250, and I never had it. It was raw. It needed to be cleaned and pressed. So I go ahead. I did that, and I'm thinking, with my trained eye and others, I would say that this book is about 3.0, 3.5. My Batman 121, it's a lower grade, but a decent lower grade. So, I'm having that cleaned and pressed, and it's currently in CGC for grading. Depending on what the grade is, I might be able to pay most of it back. That's my big gamble. So I'm taking that book, and like I said, I've sold off my modern Grails just to get this. And I can tell you right now, there's no regrets. I've sold off my New Mutants 98. I've sold off my ASM 300, which is a great time to sell it. I've sold numerous other books. Now here's my reasoning here. My Batman 121 has one appearance of a major villain, although it's not even the first Silver Age appearance. It's the first appearance of Mr. Zero, Mr. Freeze. And I know King of the Golden State just bought one. And now that he just bought one, I was like, oh, jeez. That stings. That stings because I actually had to get rid of one. But I am taking the first appearance of a DC villain, one appearance in that book, in exchange for about 6 appearances of people, of heroes in a Marvel book, including a major first appearance of a Marvel villain, Magneto. Now, looking at the figures on that, you got to say it's worth the gamble. I'm just taking one first appearance from DC, although it's a really great first appearance, and a 10 center, and it's a book older than this one, right? So, once again, no regrets. I think I made a pretty good move there. Now, I remember, let's see, last year, Enrique and I were talking about getting a Wolverine, first appearance of Wolverine, Hulk 181. And I'm trying to tell him, I said, I know that's on your list. Biggies, but let's not lose focus here. Let's go for this, right? Oh yeah. I'll definitely let you guys know what that Batman 121 comes back at, and I'll let you know. But here's my thing, Biggies. I wanted to make sure that maybe we can stay on course and follow through with that, because now that some of these things can be accomplished, but there's huge sacrifice involved. In my case, there was huge sacrifice involved to get what I needed to get done. And I took a note from Gotham Comics. Just recently got his Big Grail book, Fantastic Four #5. A huge book. I would love to have that book. But he himself made a lot of sacrifice to get what he needed to get done. Now, there's other ways around it to get a key book, but for me, this was the only way I thought possible. And I got to tell you guys, I don't think I could do this without the rest of you. You guys might think you guys just watch videos every once in a while and say hi, we're passing by, we'll see each other chat in an auction, but I got to tell you, every one of you guys, I have to personally thank, because you guys played a big part of it. Some people played in different parts than others, but altogether, you guys have really, I don't know, I got to say, you guys really were there to support people when they need it. I really appreciate that. I gotta at least give a big shout out. I always talk him up, but my friend Scott from Rocket Comics was a huge influence in getting this book. He told me this was a book I couldn't pass up, and I agree. So thank you, Scott. This was something that I couldn't have done without him. I don't think I could pull this off and talk to people and make sure that the certificates all matched up and everything was legit, that this was not stolen. So that played a huge part. I didn't want to have stolen merchandise on my hands. All my regular group of people, Four-Way and Gene Paulus Peter and GD J-Rod and Frost, played a huge part in this. Although Frost doesn't know yet, so He'll find out shortly. They played a huge part. I remember Frost was the one that asked me if I had a Grail book. I said, I don't have a Grail book. I really don't. At the time, I was honest about it. I didn't have a Grail book. All my books are my Grails. I love them. Every single one of them plays a special part in my collection. But to have this is a really great milestone. So I actually feel like I'm in the Academy Awards. It's so funny. I was checking out NYC Warriors last show. Hilarious. Jeff Johnson puts up a little award. He says, I'd like to thank the Academy. And it just had me busting up. He did an acceptance speech. It was really funny. I kind of feel that way about this book. That is a huge award for me. So thanks everybody. This was a really good thing to have. I'm going to be in debt for a long time. Hopefully I'll get it paid off sooner than later. But it's a huge purchase, and it is what it is. But I can also tell you that I've spent every day trying to gently crack this thing open, and I know it's not good yet. I can't really crack it open because I need to have it re-slabbed. But it's just fun just doing that. It's like I can almost smell it. If I smell strong enough through the plastic, I can almost smell it paper. Not really. So, but I would love, I want to be there when this gets cracked open. I wish I could. So, there we have it. It's probably one of my longest videos that I've done. This was the reason why I had to leave for a month. And I almost thought it was going to be gone a lot longer. I don't know when my next haul will be because I am broke. I am broke, so broke. And, without my wife, I definitely couldn't do this because it's part of her money also. Always remember that, guys. If you guys are married in a relationship where you share a bank account or expenses, keep your significant other in mind when trying to do this, because it's not an easy thing. For my wife to just have me spend that much money on a piece of paper, in her mind, it's a piece of paper. To me, it's a childhood dream. I don't know how you negotiate the middle of that. But anyway, this is it. I'm so glad that I was able to show you guys today and share with you all the stuff that it took to get to that book. I got nothing else to say. Yeah, that's it. So this is Comicfan, and until next time, happy hunting. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.